Well, here in 2021, we're caught up in analytics in the world of hockey. It's a huge part, maybe the major part of player evaluation these days. I know I've been involved in it. I've worked with Stathletes, which is the company former Phoenix general manager Johnny Chaika formed, and I really enjoyed my time there, by the way. And I watch hockey much different now than I ever did before I got involved in that. Did you know that 50 years ago, in the summer of 1971, at least 2 National Hockey League teams were beginning to use the electronic brains, as they were called then? They were using computers to collate and analyze their scouting data. Both the Maple Leafs and Flyers announced the move to the use of computers, and Dan Proudfoot of the Toronto Globe and Mail got inside with a fellow whose name you'll probably recognize with the Maple Leafs, who told us exactly what the Leafs were thinking with all this newfangled gadgetry to try and get a better handle on all the information from their many scouts around the world. Dan Proudfoot writes that the newest member of the Toronto Maple Leafs can't skate, but management's like it's thinking. The team has signed a computer which eventually will decide which amateurs the Leafs do draft. Jim Gregory, general manager of the Leafs, Bob Davidson, their chief scout, said that they had joined forces with Optimum Systems Incorporated to try to develop player selection system utilizing computer technology. The Leafs will cooperate with the Philadelphia Flyers and St. Louis Blues in that all 3 teams will contribute scouts who provide basic information to feed the hockey brain, which is located in, of all places, Palo Alto, California. Is that in Silicon Valley? Howard Starkman, who is the Leafs Director of Administration, said, we expect to be laughed at. People will remember what happened when other companies switched over to computers and bills got hopelessly mixed up. But the truth of it is, though, it likely will take 4 or 5 years to develop the system so that we can rely on it. Starkman said the computer people wouldn't want us to use their ranking this year, for example. At first, we'll be cautious with it, but the idea is to develop it so you have complete faith in the computer's ranking of junior hockey players. The key to the Leaf decision, which, by the way, was made entirely without electronic help, is to use the OSI service. But the key to this was a success enjoyed by the Dallas Cowboys of the National Football League with their recent drafts. They've done very well. Dallas, San Francisco 49ers, Los Angeles Rams are NFL teams who use the OSI system. Early in the 6 months of discussions which preceded the Leafs announcement, Jim Gregory and Bob Davidson were introduced to Gil Brandt, who's OSI's most satisfied customers, as the vice president of the Dallas Cowboys and director of player personnel. Gregory said that the Leafs were very impressed with the fact that Dallas has had the Rookie of the Year 2 seasons in a row with Calvin Hill and Dwayne Thomas. Dallas wasn't at the bottom of the league, and so they weren't picking very early in the draft, yet they came up with the best player from the draft each year. San Francisco, Los Angeles had the players rated high too, and they could have taken them even before Dallas, but they didn't have enough faith in the OSI computer ranking, or so it seemed, so they missed out on these 2 fine players. The thing is that you got to have complete faith in the computer's recommendations in order to make the selections. Now, don't get the wrong idea here. The present Leaf scouts, such as Bob Davidson, Johnny Bauer, Torchy Shell, they don't have to run out and get their resumes ready because they're going to need new jobs. They're not going to have to learn the computer technology either. They'll play an important role in developing and making use of the OSI computer. Starkman emphasized that there was no more than the 3 of them were sharing the cost. But you got to wonder, well, is there going to be some collusion here? And that's not really how it's going to work. Starkman said that in reality, they're not partners. They're just sharing costs. And all three teams, they're not getting the same information. Each team is going to develop its own computer program, meaning that each could get different ranking of players available in the draft based on what they're going to feed into the program to see what they get back. Now, here's what Howie means on all this. He says, just to give you an idea, Philadelphia might want its players to be 6 feet, 200 pounds, or have blonde hair. Or it might emphasize skating. We might feel a guy who is tougher is more important to our hockey club. So we'll get a different list than the blonde 200-pounder who maybe wouldn't spend time in the penalty box. Over the next couple years, you understand that the Flyers would probably be the team looking for the tough guys. So once the OSI computer is rolling, it will not only take the scouts' player reports, but it's going to rank their value. For example, if you went out and saw a game and filled a report, it wouldn't give it as much valuable if I did it instead of Bob Davidson, who, of course, is one of the best scouts that ever scouted hockey games. The Leafs hired 2 more full-time scouts to have a couple more guys giving data to this 3-team cooperative. They brought in Jacques Toupin of Three Rivers, Quebec, and Frank Curry of Calgary, and they're going to cover, of course, the Quebec and Alberta provinces. And all the Leaf scouts will fill out the computer forms, and then they'll be filed with OSI in California, and we'll just have to see what happens over the next few years with the Leafs amateur draft selections. And of course, it'd be interesting to see what St. Louis and Philadelphia do as well.